And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We just wrapped up with the MC show match series. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was a lot of fun. But now we are back with something a little bit different, something a little bit special. We have a viewer replay cast available here. For those that are curious, if you're in the chat, there is a point redemption available in the chat with your channel points, where you can have us cast one of your replays. You can have us cast one of your replays, and NightPhoenix did redeem a replay cast 2 days ago during the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and we have a little bit of time here to jump into that replay here and now. I believe this was one of the games that actually took part in Sparkling Tuna Cup. We weren't able to cast it live at the time. We were focusing on other portions of the bracket, but now we can jump into this singular best of one. Let's go. Let us go. If you missed out on the MC show match series, I do recommend it. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time that we were able to have when it came to like the team matches and the other best of ones as well. But now we're jumping into our final game of the night. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Astronaut Esports. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Italian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Bing Bong Esports. It is Azura. Here we go. We have our PvP again. This match took place 2 days ago during the Sparkling Tuna Cup. And I'm curious as to why NightPhoenix did redeem this replay. I'm curious what kind of shenanigans we have ahead of us. NightPhoenix is typically an aggressive player in PvP. I do recall a lot of aggression, a lot of one-base all-ins, a lot of very active play from NightPhoenix. Likewise, Azura does often go for more economic openers. Speaking of, do we go for the Gate Cybercore? Do we go for a delayed second gateway instead here? We should be throwing down the second gate, right? Yeah, there we go. 2 gate opener. 2 gate opener out of Azura. 2 gate opener out of NightPhoenix as well. 2 gate openers all around. Probes are moving out across the map. And we'll see how we follow this up. Really, we're just looking for our first units. Once the Cybercore is done, we can see if we open up double Adept, double Stalker, or Stalker Sentry. Stalker Sentry are the most standard, more macro-oriented openers, and I expect that out of Azura, but we'll see what NightPhoenix does embrace instead. Still, we're just gearing on up. Likewise, Probe Scouts into the mains, keeping an eye on the second pylon. Second pylon's in the main base for Azura. Likewise, second pylon in the main for NightPhoenix as well. Both players confirmed that there is no proxy. So no proxy from either player. Both players are fully aware. And now we can settle in. Now we can say that we have our answer. Double Adept. Double Adept here. Double Adept from NightPhoenix. Meanwhile, Stalker Sentry from Azura instead. So very different openers. As we did mention, Stalker Sentry is more macro focused. It allows us to be more defensive. Allows us to scout across the map with hallucination as well, especially with the energy overcharge. So a very safe way to open up and to get into the natural, into a more macro setup. Meanwhile, NightPhoenix Double Adept to harass, to get across the map, to wreak havoc. Twilight Council opener as well. NightPhoenix going for a delayed expansion. So double Adept into Twilight Council, into, I would imagine, Blink. Adepts are moving out. Back at home, Azura attempts an expand, but there is a pylon block to delay the expansion. So the expansion is being delayed. Adept's going to be moving out. We'll get across the map. Azura setting up for a proxy across the map. You have my attention. Here comes that expansion. Adepts threatening a shade. So far, Azura's keeping up. Does fully wall up. He walls off, sends out the hallucination. Again, it's going to be on Azura to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, I was not expecting this. Glaives, not Blink. Okay, it's going to be Glaive Adepts here from NightPhoenix. Are we just going for... Okay, we're expanding. I was going to say, are we going for a one-base all-in? But NightPhoenix is expanding, but this is hyper-aggressive here from NightPhoenix. This does not scale well into the mid-game or into a longer game state. This is designed to wreak havoc here and now, and here comes the proxy. Here comes the reinforcing gateways. Meanwhile, Azura trying to catch out the Adepts, but alas, he gets caught out himself. 4 Adepts here already for NightPhoenix. Oh, Azura, he does get the pylon. He sees, he confirms. He knows. He knows what's going on. Sees a pylon. That's a big tell. Pylon under fire, distracting all the Adepts. There's that proxy gateway. As NightPhoenix is gearing up, hunting down the Stalkers. There's the recall. Does he get the Stalker? Barely not. Both Stalkers, they do escape. Azura was setting up his own proxy, but alas, he has to focus on the defense back at home. Twilight Council's on the way. And we need shield batteries. We need shield batteries, we need Stalkers, we need everything here to defend. Because here comes NightPhoenix. That's a lot of adepts. 6 adepts so far. 6 adepts for the Protoss. With the red Protoss even. Sorry, 7. 8. 8 adepts threatening a shade. There's the full wall. Does he commit? Oh, he doesn't. Okay, no major commitment. Goes to the pylon. Pylon does take a hit. Behind this, Robo's on the way. I would imagine this is going to be for the Warp Prism to drop into the main as more adepts are warping in. NightPhoenix just going mass adept. Oh boy. Meanwhile, across the map, speaking of adepts, Azura does slip in. 2, 3 probes going down, 4 probes even, 2 adepts taking one-shot workers, 5 worker kills at the same time. NightPhoenix does commit, going for the pylon. He does depower the shield battery. Shield battery is depowered. Sentries are going to be going down as well. NightPhoenix commits. And we'll take down sentry after sentry. Oh my god. Shield battery putting in a lot of work. Barely keeps it alive. Oh my god. Yes, some missed shots there from NightPhoenix. Sentry finally goes out, but across the map, that's going to be 8 probe kills. Azura wreaking havoc. Azura doing game-ending damage here. Azura is going to be forced to kill his own shield battery. Did finish. But is looking very strong here. Does have a massive economic lead. And NightPhoenix, I mean, he was already all in. Now even more so. Oh no. That's more probes going down. Losing another worker. NightPhoenix still on 3 gateways. Has at least glaives. And it's going to be all or nothing for NightPhoenix. Okay, what do we have? It's going to be 11 adepts against 7 stalkers. I spoke too soon. Adepts are being targeted down. Azura looking strong. Completely shutting this down. Likewise, with that proxy across the map, he can throw down a Dark Shrine. I would have assumed that that's what the proxy was for. With the Dark Shrine, Blink is now done. NightPhoenix coming in from behind. Gateway is going to be depowered. NightPhoenix going straight for the main. Oh my god. Does wall open NightPhoenix. He can commit. Yeah, he breaks through. Breaks through the shield battery. Busts into the main. Forces a recall. Stalkers, they do get in position. They can focus down the adepts one after the other. Shield battery putting in a little work. Adepts, they cancel the shade. But Azura's all over this. Azura keeps up. Forces this back. Immortal production has begun. Not shield battery. Adepts, they shade into the main. He gets 1, he gets 2. Gets 2 probe kills. Oh, not much more than that. At the same time, Adepts, they shade in towards the natural. 4 probes. Not bad. Getting 5 worker kills. 5 workers going down. Azura still up in the economy, still up in the probe counts. Now moving out. He's got 10 stalkers. Gateway still depowered. Azura even thinking about expanding and taking a 3rd. And he will. Meanwhile, across the map, NightPhoenix still building up. Has the Immortal. Shield battery alongside this. He's going to have the overcharge. Energy overcharge, I should emphasize. Azura does poke in. Doesn't quite break through. NightPhoenix holding his own. Forge on the way for +1. And we might just settle into a longer game state. Azura still has the edge 100% with a better economy. And is now getting into Immortal production. No Forge, which means Azura's going to fall behind in the upgrades. And NightPhoenix skipping Blink, going straight into charge. Makes sense. Going straight for charge lots. Immortal charge, I should emphasize. So NightPhoenix is attempting to transition. Still just a really rough game state here for NightPhoenix. Tries to break out. Oh, doesn't quite get the Stalker. Azura racing back. Does fall back. Poking forward. So Azura poking in, dancing with the army. Does dance with the army. Likewise, Bay is on the way. NightPhoenix working towards disruptors. Okay, so even though NightPhoenix is behind, I mean, we've seen this time and time again. The power of the disruptor, it is the great equalizer, of course. With those purification overs, you can be down 20, 30, 40 army supply, and you can still bounce back with disruptors. We've seen it many a time, and we can't see it again. NightPhoenix, okay, double adept towards the third. Likewise, Prism into the main. Stalker's in position. We'll zoom back the War Prism. Adepts, they do make their way into the mineral line, though. And probes are going to be going down. It's pulling Azura apart. Getting 5, 6, 7, 8. Probe kill. Oh my god. Can we get up to 10? Up. Oh, not quite. Yeah, barely not. Adepts are cleaned up. 9 probe kills, though. Nonetheless, good damage. NightPhoenix takes a worker lead. For the first time all game. Is now up in workers. Stalkers, they poke in. But there are 3 immortals, and here we go. Double disruptor production. 2 robos. He's crazy. Making 2 disruptors at a time. NightPhoenix bouncing back. He's going back into this. Azura still being active, just sharking around, backing up. Azura, when it comes to his army composition, is going for a more standard route, is going from Blink Stalkers into Immortals into Charge Lot Archon. This is a more standard rate of progression here. What NightPhoenix is doing is something very akin to Geralt. Geralt, he very much so loves skipping Archons and going straight Disruptor. Disruptors are revealed. Colossus production has begun. You may be thinking, Colossus and PvP? Yes, they have their place in PvP. Specifically, Colossus, they excel against a gateway composition. They're almost like an alternative to the Archon, where they do well against Stalkers and Zealots. Likewise, what they struggle against is Disruptors, but Azura doesn't have Disruptors. So tech-wise, NightPhoenix is ahead. Does have that lead. Azura behind this, getting his own 4th, faster than that of NightPhoenix. Base is going to be denied. Nexus is denied. So far, so good for Azura. Maintaining at least a supply lead, and here we go. The base on the way. Azura does need those disruptors. Without them, he's going to have a very hard time engaging with the main army. Ooh, does stuff like the Prism. Gets very low. Prism gets low. NightPhoenix finally takes the 4th. 4th base getting up and running. NightPhoenix building up. The base is now done for Azura, and we need those disruptors. How many robos does he have? 2. Sorry, just the 1. Just the 1 robo. He can make 1 disruptor at a time. There it is, it's on the way, but we do need that second robo. There it is, second robo now being thrown down. This does feel a little bit late, though. And Azura's moving out. Azura's being active. Risky move out here from our blue Protoss. Very risky. It is up in supply, that is true, but he's pushing into disruptors, which is never easy. It's never an easy thing to do. Azura setting up a flank, hits the 4th base, trying to knock it down. Likewise, coming in from behind, Nova goes up. Ooh, massive connection. It connects with the Zealots. Likewise, with the main army as well. Takes out a sentry. Another Nova with the Archons. 2 more Archons go down. Massive pickoffs. Alas, Azura coming in for the surround. Goes to the dive, gets on top of the Colossus. The Colossus, they hold their own. Yeah, they hold their own. They do not go down. Likewise, 3rd Colossus comes in to reinforce. The Zealots are trickling in. But NightPhoenix holds. He holds on, preserves every single Colossus. The Disruptors that go down for the most part. There's 1 Disruptor left. That was a massive fight in favor of NightPhoenix. Azura forced all the way back. And this wasn't anti-timing. Now, finally, the Disruptors have arrived, but Azura lost so much there. Look at this lost tab here. Azura, he lost 3 Immortals, lost 4 Archons as well. Just so many Archons went down. 11 Stalkers. And what did he get? He got 2 Disruptors. 2 Disruptors, and he traded Archon for Archon. That was a better fight for NightPhoenix. And Azura, he's committed at this point. And he's got one disruptor. Disruptor's on cooldown. NightPhoenix going for a massive zealot counterattack. Zealots, they hit the natural, going for the robo. They force a recall. Going for the Bay, actually. Okay. The Bay is going to go down. Nice pickup. Will delay more disruptors. We do see Azura getting up to 3. NightPhoenix now moving out. Even going for the Templar Archives. I shouldn't get it. A little bit ambitious. Templar Archives will survive. NightPhoenix moving out. Does move out. Rotates towards the left-hand side. Azura trying to keep up. Again, the supplies are neck and neck. The supplies are close. But again, the soup does lie. Soup does lie here. It comes down to the high-tech units. I mean, with 3 disruptors, Azura can hold on. True. Can hold on. The disruptors, they zone each other away. You see Azura diving in towards that 4th. Forces a recall. Yeah, forces the entire army back home. Azura dipping into the main. There are Sorgs in position. The Prism is going to go down. Yeah, massive pickoff. Prism does fall. Azura catching out an Immortal, almost a disruptor as well. Oh, the Nova! Oh my god. Massive Nova goes off. Immortal goes down, but not the worst trade here for NightPhoenix. Taking down a lot of Zealots in the process. NightPhoenix getting supply blocked. Disruptors move in. Nova goes off. Ooh, 2 disruptors go down. Brutal pickoff. Azura down to 3. 3 disruptors left. NightPhoenix pushing in. Still waiting to break out of that supply block. 3 pylons on the way. Getting into +1 air attack. 3 Stargates as well. Show us the Sky Toss. Sky Toss on the horizon. Still missing that Fleet Beacon, of course, but NightPhoenix is on the way. On the way to Sky Toss. Already maxed out as well. Now would be the time to trade for NightPhoenix. To trade with the army. Is being active. Azura trying to stabilize. But Azura has been one step behind tech-wise almost this entire game. Once disruptors hit the field. Sort of comes in, snipes the Prism. Prism goes down. The Zealots deny the 5th. Likewise, DTs deny the low ground as well. Or the southern expansion. Bases are denied. NightPhoenix isn't trading, so as a result, Azura's catching up in army supply. Azura is at least building up a bank, but ideally Azura wants... Sorry, NightPhoenix is building up a bank. Ideally, NightPhoenix wants to trade out Zealots and start replacing those Zealots with Skytoss units, like carriers. Like carriers, like Tempest. Ideally, he wants to start working towards that, but at last is still stuck with a maxed out army. Is it really doing much with it? Not yet. So Azura has caught up. Is going to be rotating. Fleet Beacon is done, and again, NightPhoenix has to get rid of some of these Zealots. Has to trade. Zealots say poke in. They got 1 disruptor. And they get an Immortal as well. And again, as we get rid of these Zealots, carriers are on the way. Carriers have begun. Just freeing up that supply. Likewise, Azura getting ready for his own massive Zealot counterattack as well. Unfortunately, Azura has not begun to work towards Skytoss himself. He could, if he only knew. Azura will overwhelm. Does overwhelm the Zealots. NightPhoenix has to respond. Azura defends back at home. Nova's a zone away. Just zoning back NightPhoenix. Oh my god, so many Novas! That's a lot of disruptors. But the DTs, no detection, no shot. The mass DT. The army runs in head first. DTs annihilate the stalkers. Azura does not gain any ground. No massive connections either. Ay, ay, ay. At the same time, though, Azura going for a big Zealot counterattack. NightPhoenix not quite in position. Carrier gets revealed. Azura now aware. More carriers in production. And again, the longer this goes on, just the more refined of an army NightPhoenix is amassing. With more disruptors, more carriers, better upgrades. Azura does begin +1 air attack, but is still quite a ways away from getting into that kind of army. Azura moving out. Nova goes off. Ooh, massive connection. Nova does connect. Army diving in. Taking some massive Novas to the face. But what about the Skytoss, right? The Skytoss army doesn't care about your Novas. As NightPhoenix does plummet in supply, but cannot break through. Cannot break through this army. We do see Azura trying to respond with Massive Blink Stalker. Has potential. Azura dives in. Does catch a carrier. One carrier goes down. Azura rotating over. NightPhoenix trying to keep up. Nova's a crazy army. NightPhoenix rotating around. Ooh. It's going to be rotating. Still looking for a way in. Not quite able to. And eventually this mass carry army is just, it's already overwhelming. Like, we're getting to the point where we can aim if happy. Ay, ay, ay. Of course, it's important that NightPhoenix maintain some disruptors to make sure the soldiers don't blink in. That's really all they're there for, to protect the carriers. As we're reaching critical mass, we have 8 carriers. Oh my god. And Azura just now starting up his own Stargates, but these Stargates are so late. Otherwise, Azura could embrace Tempest production, but is so far away from that. NightPhoenix still stuck at home. Now poking out. Oh my god. The carriers, they punish this so hard. Taking down how many Stalkers? 7. 7 Stalkers go down, and counting. Azura being forced back. Oh, goes for the dive. He blinks in. He dives on the army. Nova goes off. Massive connection. From 8 down to 4 carriers. Not bad. 4 carriers go down, but Azura plummets in supply. Does have the greater economy though. As I say that, NightPhoenix is going to be meeting up with those Archons. This is what NightPhoenix was missing with his main army, true. Was missing those Archons. They would have actually helped so much with supporting the carriers. But now the death blow of an army has come together. Now, Tempests are ideal. Like, Tempests are superior to carriers in that sense, as they do bonus damage to massive units. And Tempests, they can annihilate carriers. Meanwhile, DTs, they slip into the main. Depowering some of the Stargates. But we need more time for Tempest. Is the problem. Is that Azura is behind when it comes to production. Needs more time, and bases are going to be going down. Oof. Nova goes off. Decent blink. But NightPhoenix should take down this northern expansion and top left as well. Oh, the probes get out of here. Ah, they will get away. Probes, thankfully, they do escape. They evacuate top left. So they're coming in from behind. It's going to be all or nothing. No, oh my god. send the army away. Azura rotating. 3 Tempests have arrived. They can help. They can do their part. NightPhoenix is going to be rotating. Oh, once again, a bit of a misrally. NightPhoenix with the carriers. It just rides 2 carriers into their deaths. Nice vehicles here by Azura. Okay, Azura, back in this. How many Tempests? Still only 4. Still only 4 Tempests with Mass Blink Stalker instead. But I will say that suddenly Azura has a comparable army to that of NightPhoenix. I would like to see more Disruptors. Speaking of, 1 Disruptor gets caught out. NightPhoenix coming from behind. Novas go up. These connections, they take down one of the Archons. They get 1. They get some Stalkers as well. A bit of an awkward engagement here from NightPhoenix. Nice kiting with the Tempest. But the Stalkers, a lot of them are going down the river. Massive connection. Nova goes off. Stalkers, they're falling. They're crumbling. And Tempest on their own, they can't really do much against this. We need support. And now there's barely any Stalkers. These are Novas here from Azura. A very scrappy engagement. Most of the carriers are full. There's 1 carrier left. But what about the ground army? Novas, they keep zoning away. The final carrier falls. Again, the power of the Tempest. But now the Tempests are falling as well. They crumble. GG gets called as Azura runs out of an economy. And NightPhoenix takes down Azura. GG. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A wild game here again. NightPhoenix did attempt with an all-in initially with all those Glaive Adepts and was unsuccessful. I will say that Azura was able to defend quite well, take an economic advantage, get a natural, get a 3rd base up and running, gain a greater economy. It was in the aftermath of that NightPhoenix did rush into Disruptors. And it took a little bit too long for Azura to realize what was going on. By the time he did, he was trying to catch up with his own Disruptors. As it was catching up, NightPhoenix was already working towards Sky Toss. So NightPhoenix was just 1 step ahead after the failed aggression, after the failed Glaive Adepts. Likewise, it was also able to stabilize economically by killing 9 probes across the map and by being aggressive with, 2 Adepts at a time. So NightPhoenix did stabilize, and Azura did lose that lead. Did end up losing that lead. So GG, well played. Very impressive performance there by NightPhoenix. Very well done. And with that, it did take the game, and I believe did end up taking the series as well over Azura. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. Surely Azura should have clicked the Disruptors before the carries there. I mean, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of scenario where I don't necessarily think there was a bad option. If he did go for the Disruptors instead, the carriers would have obviously dealt more damage and still wreaked havoc when it comes to the ground army. Unfortunately, Azura was just in a really rough position just because he was kind of lacking support. If you remember, he had 3 Disruptors, only 3 on the ground, so his ground army was lacking in a sense. Likewise, took some massive Novas to the face as well. It was brutal. So it's just a rough engage there for Azura, and he was losing bases, losing his economy, down to 40 workers towards the end. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to NightPhoenix. And with that, that is our final game of the evening. Final game of the evening here. We just wrapped up with the MC show match. We just wrapped up with our 1 viewer replay here from NightPhoenix, and we are wrapping up for the time being. Again, Alima League is currently live at the moment. Alima League is live, is being casted over on the Chijik platform. We, just as a PSA once again, we usually cast it live ourselves, but we have made the decision to stop casting it live just because we don't really get much traction or much viewership on Chijik. So we are going to be casting via replays afterwards instead, which means we have a little bit of time off here. We're going to be heading on over and having a bit of a break. We're going to be back in how many hours time exactly? Let me just double check. We are going to be back in 4 hours. In 4 hours time, this stream is going to be back live, and we're going to be casting Fire Grow Cup. Fire Grow Cup Group A is going to be live on this channel. Then after Fire Grow Cup, then we're going to be casting the Alima League replays. That is the plan. So back to back to back, three casts here tonight. We do have a 4 hour break at least until the next cast. I'm tempted to have a nap. I don't know if I can. We'll see. I might just get some food and just work on some VODs and just work on social media. And then we'll be live, of course, in 4 hours with the Fire Grow Cup. So plenty more StarCraft to come tonight. Plenty more to come. Let's go. That's a lot of casting, as always, Papi, as always. Plenty of casting here on the Cranky Ducklings. Plenty of casting. All the StarCraft. But light, I just woke up. Buenos dias. Buenos dias, Papi. Buenos dias. If you missed out, we just wrapped up a bunch of show matches with MC, with Min Chul. It was great to see him once again, so I do recommend the VODs. Do recommend them. They're on YouTube and on Twitch, so the VODs are available. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll be back in 4 hours' time with the Fire Grow Cup. If you want to tune in, if you want to support us, we do cast on a daily basis, or there are days like this where we cast like 2 or 3 times a day. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the Cranky Ducklings. You can follow us on the social medias, !socials in the chat. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Mastodon, Blue Sky, YouTube, Discord, all things Cranky Ducklings. You can check us out. Likewise, you can support us via Patreon if you wish, Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon is set up to fund our weekly tournaments, events like Sparkling Tuna Cup, Sea Duckling Open, and Master Swan Open as well. We do host 3 events here that are funded via Patreon. If you want to help us grow the events, you can do so via Patreon if you wish. We do give benefits to those patrons. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. And yes, we'll see you guys in a couple of hours with some more casting, with some more StarCraft. Until then, gracias. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.